Sadness is not weakness, it's your soul asking for help. Hey, stop scrolling for just a moment. Let me tell you something nobody says enough. Feeling sad doesn't make you weak. It doesn't mean you're broken. It means your soul is trying to speak, and maybe you've been too busy, too tired, too overwhelmed to listen. In American culture, we often wear strength like armor. Keep pushing, suck it up, don't let them see you cry. But here's the truth, even the strongest hearts need time to rest. Even the boldest souls have quiet nights full of tears. Sadness isn't a flaw. It's a signal, like your heart saying, please, I need space to breathe. And guess what? God hears that cry, even when you don't say a word. This moment, this very video, it might be exactly what He's using to reach you. So take a deep breath. You're not weak. You're human. And you're not alone. And you're not alone. But I know, sometimes it feels like you are. You pray. You wait. And all you hear is silence. You wonder, God, where are you in all of this? You try to believe He's there, but in the stillness, in the quiet, aching hours when no one checks in, when your phone stays silent, when even your own thoughts feel too heavy to carry, it's easy to believe that maybe He left. But He didn't. He never did. The silence of God isn't His absence. It's not rejection. It's not punishment. It's the same silence you hear when a teacher steps back during a test. Because in the silence, something sacred is happening. God is not gone. He's working in the unseen. Behind the scenes of your pain, behind the questions, behind the nights you cry into your pillow, He's moving puzzle pieces you can't even see. He's softening hearts. Rearranging plans. Protecting you from things you didn't even know were coming. You see, in American life, we're trained to expect fast answers. We want overnight shipping, instant texts, one-click solutions. But God? He's not Amazon Prime. He's not Google. He's timeless. And sometimes, the most beautiful breakthroughs come through the longest silences. It's in the waiting where faith is forged. In the quiet where strength is born. And in the stillness where God shapes your spirit, gently, carefully, like a sculptor with clay. He's not ignoring you. He's preparing you. Because when He finally speaks, it will be in a way that shakes you, not with noise, but with peace so loud it silences the storm inside you. So don't mistake the silence for distance. Don't walk away just before the whisper comes. He's closer than you think. And He's been listening the whole time. He's closer than you think. And He's been listening the whole time. But maybe you're thinking, yeah, but I've felt like this before, broken, numb, and somehow, I'm still here. But I'm tired. I don't know how much more I can take. Listen closely. You've said that before, haven't you? I don't know if I can make it through this. And yet, here you are. Still breathing. Still fighting. Still holding on, even if by a thread. There were nights when you laid in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering how the world could just keep spinning while yours was falling apart. You've had mornings when your body got up, but your heart didn't. Days when even brushing your teeth felt like a victory. Moments where you smiled in public and cried in private, because it was easier to hide the pain than explain it. But still, you kept going. You have survived every single moment you thought would destroy you. Think about that. There is a version of you in the past, scared, shaken, maybe even shattered, who would look at you today and say, I can't believe we made it. Don't diminish that. Don't act like it's nothing. Because you didn't just get through it. You grew through it. You endured heartbreak, disappointment, anxiety, shame, and more, and each time, even with trembling hands, you stitched yourself back together. And no, it wasn't perfect. It was messy. It was slow. Sometimes, healing looked more like surviving than thriving. But that's okay. You're not expected to be a masterpiece while you're still in the making. In American culture, we glorify the comeback story, the big wins, the glow-ups, the success after the storm. But what we don't talk about enough is the in-between. The days when just showing up was a triumph. And you showed up. You may not have conquered the mountain, but you didn't walk away from it either. And that matters. God saw it. Every silent battle. Every time you whispered, "Help me," even when you weren't sure he was listening. He saw the strength it took just to keep living. And no, you didn't always feel strong. But the kind of strength heaven honors, it's not loud. It's not flashy. It's quiet. Humble. Stubborn in the best way. The kind that keeps breathing when everything says, you can give up now. So, if today you're still here, still hurting, still healing, still searching, let me remind you. You are already a survivor of the worst days of your life. And if God brought you through that, He's not finished writing your story yet. He's not finished writing your story yet. And maybe, just maybe, this moment right now, these words, this voice, is His way of reaching you. Because you didn't find this by accident. Don't brush it off like it's just another video. This might be the very thing you didn't know you needed. Maybe this is His whisper cutting through all the noise you've been drowning in. Because sometimes, God doesn't show up in thunder or lightning. Sometimes He shows up in a video at 2 a.m. In a comment from a stranger. In a lyric that stops you mid-scroll. God knows you. He knows how to reach you. He's not limited by church walls, or Sunday mornings, or quiet times you couldn't manage to have. He'll reach you in your room. At a red light. While you're doing dishes or crying in your car. He'll use what He needs to use, a message, a memory, a moment like this, to wrap His arms around you without needing to say a word. You don't need to have the right prayers. You don't need to be in the right mindset. You don't even need to be ready. You just need to be here. That's enough. Because He'll do the rest. We live in a world that wants you to believe you have to climb your way to God. Be perfect. Be clean. Be whole first. But that's not how love works. That's not how grace works. And that's not how God works. He doesn't wait for you at the finish line. He meets you in the middle of the mess. And maybe that's what this is. Not a perfect sermon. Not a holy moment in a chapel with stained glass. But something raw. Real. Messy. And holy because of that. Because that's how God operates, in the real. In the undone. In the broken-hearted silence that's been too loud to ignore. So no, you didn't stumble on this. This is a lifeline. A reminder. That you haven't been forgotten. That the God who created galaxies is still intimate enough to step into your room, your heart, your screen, just to say, I'm still with you. I've always been. And I'm not going anywhere. Not because you earned it. Not because you figured everything out. But because love like His doesn't wait for conditions. It just shows up. It just shows up. And sometimes, it shows up right in the middle of your pain. Because whether anyone else sees it or not, you're hurting. Not the kind of pain you can easily explain. Not the kind that earns sympathy cards or hospital visits. This is quieter than that. Heavier. It's the kind of ache that lives in your chest like a weight you've gotten used to carrying. Like grief, but not tied to a funeral. Like loss, but you're not even sure what you lost. You just know something feels missing. Hope, maybe. Joy, maybe. Maybe even a piece of you. And sometimes, that ache makes you wonder if you're broken beyond repair. But you're not. Hear me. The pain you're feeling is not evidence of failure. It's a sign that you feel deeply. It's a sign that you still care. It's a sign that something in you is growing, even when it hurts. Because the most painful seasons of our lives, they're not pointless. They're not wasted. They are transformative. But transformation rarely feels beautiful when you're in it. It feels like loss. Like everything is being stripped away. Like the ground beneath you isn't steady anymore. And that's exactly where God does his most profound work. We all want resurrection, but no one wants the grave. We all pray for growth, but we rarely pray for the pruning. But hear this, every bit of pain you're carrying right now is a seed. And God does not waste seed. Even if you don't see the harvest yet. Even if all you see right now is dry soil and disappointment. That doesn't mean nothing is happening. Roots grow before fruit shows. So just because it's dark, doesn't mean it's dead. You may not feel it, but there are things inside you being redefined. Strengths you didn't know you had being formed. Clarity being carved out in the silence. Faith being purified like gold in fire. You are being shaped, not shattered. This season you're in, the one you hate, the one you pray away, the one you don't understand. It's not punishment. It's preparation. Preparation for who you're becoming. Because you're not going back to who you were. You've seen too much. You've felt too deeply. And even though it's hard to see it now, that pain you carry will one day become power. Not the kind that shows off. The kind that reaches back. The kind that helps others survive what you survived. So don't believe the lie that this is the end. This is just the deep soil stage. And God is planting something in you that will grow. In time. In His way. In His timing. And when it blooms, it won't just bless you. It'll heal others too. That's what He does. He turns pain into purpose. He turns ashes into beauty. And He's doing it in you, even now. He's doing it in you, even now. And you don't need to have it all together for that to be true. Because somewhere along the way, you might have started to believe a lie. That if you're not okay, you're somehow failing. That if you can't smile through it, pray through it, post your way through it, you're not strong enough. But I need you to hear this, maybe more than anything else so far. You don't have to be okay to be loved. You don't have to be okay to be held. You don't even have to be okay to be worthy. We live in a world, especially here, in this culture, where we're constantly told to perform wellness. Put on a brave face. Stay positive. Be productive. As if your value is tied to your ability to keep it together. But God doesn't love some curated version of you. He loves you. The one with unwashed hair and unanswered texts. The one who barely made it out of bed today. The one who's still crying over what everyone else said you should be over by now. And He doesn't flinch at your mess. He doesn't walk away from your broken parts. In fact, He draws closer to them. Psalm 34 says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted." Not the cheerful. Not the polished. Not the confident. The brokenhearted. That means you, right here, right now, even if you feel like a shell of who you used to be, are exactly the kind of person he comes running toward. Because he's not intimidated by your darkness. He's not put off by your sadness. He knows what it is to feel alone, abandoned, misunderstood. Jesus wept, remember? He didn't pretend to be strong when he was hurting. He didn't fake a smile when his soul was in anguish. So why should you? You're not a machine. You're not weak because you feel. You're real. You're human. And the world doesn't need more perfect people, it needs more authentic ones. People who can say, "I'm not okay, but I'm still here." People who can reach for God even when their hands are trembling. You don't have to show up strong, just show up honest. Because when you're real with Him, He meets you in real ways. Not with clichés. Not with formulas. But with quiet comfort, soul-deep peace, and a kind of love that doesn't flinch. So if you're sitting in your room right now, or walking down the street with that lump in your throat, or hiding in the bathroom just to breathe, hear this. You're allowed to be undone. You're allowed to be exhausted. You're allowed to not be okay. But you're not alone in any of it. And just because you feel lost doesn't mean you've been left. God sees what no one else sees, and He stays. He stays through the silence. He stays through the sadness. He stays through the storm you don't have words for yet. He stays. And right now. So am I. So am I. And maybe that's all you needed right now, someone to stay. Someone who doesn't try to fix it. Someone who doesn't rush your healing. Someone who just sits in the silence with you. Because silence can be deafening when you're hurting. And it's in that silence that the most dangerous lie tries to creep in. That God stopped listening. That your prayers are too broken. Too small. Too tired. But let me tell you something you may have forgotten. Tears are a language God understands. And they don't need translation. They don't need to be grammatically correct. They don't need to be poetic or powerful. Your tears are prayers. And in heaven's courtroom, they carry weight. They are seen. They are held. And they are heard by a God who bottles every single one. You don't need eloquence to reach Him. You don't need volume. You don't need fancy words. Just a real heart. A real ache. Because when all you can do is cry, that's still worship. When all you can say is, "God, I don't know what to say," that's still a prayer. When all you can do is whisper, "Please," with no ending to the sentence, heaven still hears the rest. We've been taught that prayer is posture and protocol. But more than anything, prayer is proximity. And the most honest prayers are often the messiest ones. The wordless ones. The desperate, breathless ones. The prayers you mutter in the car with your head on the steering wheel. The ones you whisper into a pillow so no one else hears. The ones you say with your eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling, wondering if anyone's even out there. He's out there. And He's in here, too. With you. Inside the ache. He hears what people miss. He catches what the world overlooks. Because your tears are not weakness. They're not shameful. They're not failures. They are holy. They're the overflow of a heart that still feels, and that alone is sacred. Even in this culture, this loud, distracted, fix-it-quick culture, where sadness is something we try to hide, numb, or deny. Your sadness is allowed. And it is seen by the only one who truly understands its weight. So if tonight you have no words left, if tonight you feel like you've run out of prayers, let your tears be enough. They've always been enough. Because they say what your soul can't. And your Father hears every drop. They've always been enough. Because they say what your soul can't. And your Father hears every drop. Now, in this quiet moment, I want you to imagine something. Imagine that no matter how heavy your heart feels today, no matter how long the night seems, no matter how many times you've fallen, been forgotten, or pushed aside, you are standing on the edge of something new. Not because you forced it. Not because you woke up feeling brave. But because even in your darkest moments, God's light is weaving through the cracks in your brokenness. That light is subtle, sometimes so subtle you almost miss it. But it is there. Maybe it's the kindness of a stranger. Maybe it's the soft voice of a friend who won't give up on you. Maybe it's a memory of laughter long forgotten, bubbling to the surface when you least expect it. Or maybe it's this very moment, the stillness between words, the gentle pause where you feel, finally, like you're not alone. Because healing doesn't always come with fireworks and fanfare. It often comes quietly, softly. Like the first rays of sunlight breaking over a cold, dark morning. And as those rays warm the earth, something begins to grow inside you. A hope you thought was gone. A faith that no longer feels fragile but rooted deep. You're not the same person who started this journey. You're not even the same person who survived the hardest days. You're someone who's being made whole, piece by piece. Someone who will look back and say, I made it. And when you do, you'll realize something powerful. Every tear, every silent prayer, every moment you felt invisible. They were all threads in the tapestry of your comeback. This life, your life, is a sacred story of resilience and grace. And the beautiful truth is that God's love never runs out. It never fades. It doesn't depend on your strength or your ability to hold on. It simply is. Unconditional. Everlasting. And because of that love, there is always hope. There is always a new beginning. There is always a reason to keep going. So when the sadness comes back, and it might, remember this moment. Remember that you have survived every storm before this. Remember that you are not alone, never alone. And most importantly, remember that your story is still being written. With every breath you take, with every step you make, you are moving closer to the joy waiting on the other side of the pain. Hold on to that promise. Because you are loved beyond measure. You are seen beyond the brokenness. You are held beyond the silence. And when you feel like giving up, remember. God's hand is there, steadying you. His heart is there, beating with yours. And His light is shining, even now, in the darkest night. You are not alone. And you never will be.